Hello there, guys. Prince here, as usual. Yesterday I couldn't make the video. Um, it wasn't a reaction anyway because I basically just turned on my TV, went on YouTube, and immediately saw that they were having the TGS reveal. It was basically like Street Fighter stuff, and then immediately Monster Hunter after, I think after one game that didn't take that long. And I was just having a coffee and just resting a little bit after work. So I definitely did not expect a video that soon, and to be honest, guys, I I honestly thought that yesterday it was about having the live gameplay of Scarlet Forest, and instead it wasn't. Apparently, the live gameplay of the Scarlet Forest is going to be 28th September, 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. for us at least, CST time zone. I don't actually know the other time zones because I don't really care. But yesterday it was about basically just them giving a beginner guide, which is very cool. I really like it. If I was a new player, this would be really really awesome. And they also made us rewatch the fourth trailer with a extended cut. Obviously, you guys know, is it is Yian Kut Ku, and I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the beginner's guide, and I want to have a little discussion while we watch the website. So let's have a look.
I was still hoping that I imagined the whole thing.
So here, obviously, let's lower a little the volume
My
here.
mind.
It's Nata, the boy, the mysterious boy. This is the second village
Oh,
that is gonna be
Captain.
in
What you
the in
two
the
been getting up to?
in the Scarlet
The captain
Forest.
gave special
So
assignments to
yes,
some
as I was
civilians
saying the
during
last
this
time, it's
mission.
confirmed that we have multiple villages, and apparently we have
There's a
multiple
reason.
crews, multiple teams, and we are a part of a I forgot the name of the team actually, and then they have the Ostrom team, I believe. I'm sure I'm getting the names wrong, but essentially we all have different teams, and we will be able to participate story hunts with the members of these teams. This is Duna. That's how you pronounce it. Duna is the apex predator of Scarlet Forest that oftentimes you're gonna encounter during the downpour of the map. Downpour is basically the inclemency of the map, where it's gonna be very rainy, very stormy, and the torrents have a surge during that moment. And now what we are watching is the plenty. The plenty of the map is beautiful, is really gorgeous to look at, and it's obviously more chill. While the first trailer that we where we saw the Lalabarina trailer, that was the fallow of the map, where basically the torrents are just a normal level and they're more red colored for some weird reason that obviously we're just gonna assume that we're gonna know in the full game when it releases. And that's the follow. So now we also we saw basically the three states of the map, and they also confirmed that yes, it is open world, guys. I don't know why they don't want to call it open world. I have a theory on that. Basically, you can go from the Windward Plains into the Scarlet Forest on, just on your sacred, like walking randomly walking or on your sacred. So, a question that obviously comes to mind is basically like Can monsters change environment, like change locale on the go? Like for example, we saw Doshaguma, sorry, being a monster that lives in the Windward Plains mainly, but also in the Scarlet Forest. So can Doshaguma actually change locale, and you might follow him? Because obviously it's very cool that it's open world, but let's be honest with ourselves here. Like aside from story mode, you're gonna change locale on foot only if a monster changes locale and you're fighting him. Like literally, quite literally. Because we all have fast travel on the main camps, on the villages, and on the pop-up camps that are basically the camps that you can set up in certain locations, and they can be destroyed by monsters if you put them into like risky places. But we all know that we do have fast travel. So if we have fast travel, we all know that we're gonna use that mainly if we want to change locale. And aside from a few times, maybe the first few times that you want to see actually, you want to explore the map, so you go with your sacred, most likely, right? So I really hope that the monsters change locale, so that incentivizes the player to follow him around, and then suddenly you just change locale, you're in a new place, and maybe there you find new stuff. You suddenly see another monster and you think, oh, I need that part, so I might actually hunt this guy. I might actually attack him so I can generate a quest. So this was one of the few points that I wanted to make. But yes, it is open world, and I will have a little prediction here. You can go from Windward Plains to Scarlet Forest, and from Scarlet Forest, you're gonna go in a snowy area. That's my prediction. And however, the volcanic area instead will be connected to the Windward Plains instead, and obviously it will most likely be in the end game, so you cannot go there from like right from the start. But the only reason they didn't call it open world probably is because you cannot change from, for example, Snowy Mountain to the volcanic area on feet, and that is because the regions, the locales are not connected. They're connected to other locales, and therefore you have to travel from the Snowy Mountains to the Scarlet to the Windward Plains and then to the volcanic area if you want to go by walking, basically. And this is just a theory of mine. This is why they don't want to call it open world, but I believe it is. And maybe they're gonna have like one or two maps that are not in the overworld. Basically, they're just maybe like an arena, maybe like a specific arena for a boss fight, like the final bosses, for example. So this is just my theory and my speculation here. And here we obviously see the Camatris. I believe it's called Camatris. And the Camatris is, despite looking like a bird, it is a brute wyvern, and we already knew that. He releases oil and then uses the tail to ignite it and make it into fire attacks, basically. And now we see Arkveld,
White Wraith.
the flagship of the game. I will assume he has Dragon Element, and he is obviously taken. They took inspiration from Frontier flying wyvern monsters that have chains, because as you can see, he has chains on his wings, and that's it.
You're a hunter. You've got a
And
weapon.
Nata is probably being mad because we don't hunt the monster. We can assume that maybe we cannot hunt the monster because it's very close to extinction. And there we have the Yian Kut Ku. Very awesome. Very awesome. I want to show you one thing, guys, and it is this. Monster Hunter Wilds hammer overview. I'm gonna show you the armor, which is this one. Oh, damn! I opened the YouTube. Uh, uh, yeah, this one. Nice. So here, um, I can't zoom it. Damn it! But I believe you can see. You can clearly see the armor. And here, if we write Yian Kut Ku armor, this was one of my speculations, guys, and I'm gonna explain. So when I saw this armor, you see the hammer looking like it has a beak, kind of like the Yangaruga and Yankutku hammer, where they basically the hammer of these two monsters basically resemble his face. So this one looking like a beak here, and the armor very similar in shape, okay, to the young Kutku. And actually, if you take a look at Yangaruga as well, he is very similar to Yangaruga. There you go. You see, it still has the same shape as Young Kutku, as you can see. Uh, take a look at this. You see the shape here and here. It's a little bit less less thorny, compared to Yangaruga and Young Kutku. So maybe this specific flying wyvern that looks like a bird, honestly. It maybe it has less pointy scales, but overall, when I saw this, I thought, is this another Yan? Another, like, they're called Yankutku, Yangaruga. They're not the same species. They're a different species, but they're very related. Maybe this is just another Yan that also uses poison like Yangaruga, but maybe has other stuff to it because obviously this armor here, if you look at the male especially, it kind of looks like the doctors, um, it looks like it resembles poison stuff like I forgot the term of it. Plagues, yeah. It looks like it resembles that, and also it has a brain on the hammer that here you cannot see in this image, but I'm pretty sure you know. So obviously it has other stuff to it. It just looks very similar, and I thought, hey, Yankutku is gonna be a monster present in the game, possibly. And then we have this other Yan, and then we could also have Yan Garuga because, well, they had the skeleton for Monster Hunter World, right? So it wasn't that hard to be. But then we saw the Chemetris the other day, and I thought, hey, really another monster that looks like a bird and uses fire? Maybe Kutku is not in the game. But then no, they showed up the Kutku, which looks absolutely awesome here. It's very cool. But at the same time, I was watching yesterday a Rage Gaming video. If you don't know, he's a content creator that does almost only Monster Hunter stuff. And he brought up something interesting that I wanted to talk about here, where basically in this piece, in these frames of the video, it looks like we are traveling in this area with the how are they called? Woodwoods, which are a new linean species that we encounter in the Scarlet Forest, and they look very territorial, and they want respect from you, and we can possibly assume that they're gonna have some quests for us, and we don't know what we will be able to gain from them, but it looks like we are following them in this clip, in this very clip, and this is obviously an area where you can actually walk because you can see the honey here, okay, and oh, oops, the honey here and some red herbs here. Sorry, fire herbs. I don't know how they're called in English, but that. Okay, you can also take it in Monster Hunter World, and we can assume that we can go here freely. Uh, but he was assuming that the young Kutku lives. They basically live with the Woodwoods, and they're maybe treat as a not sacred monster, but basically maybe the Woodwoods don't want us to kill the young Kutku. And also, these young Kutkus are very docile. Like, they see us walking around, and apparently they don't do anything. Uh, but so this is what was his theory, that young Kutku is not huntable in the game. Like, you cannot hunt a young Kutku. They're just there for, just for show. And as much as I love them, I don't really like the idea of having a such a cool I believe Yankutku is one of the coolest starting monsters ever, not just for nostalgia, but it's because it teaches the game very well. The Yankutku, not only it is one of the first and weakest big monsters that you encounter usually in a game where he is in, but the Yankutku also has some hard parts in his armor, in his skin, um, that makes it so you have to understand as a new player that you cannot attack every single part of his body. You have to choose. You have to strategize around it, and also is very notable that he's weak to ice. So maybe you want an ice weapon if you can get one at the in that part of the game, and that's not even all. It teaches you to use some certain items like in the games he was in before, there were the Sonic Balls, which is basically now the Screaming Pod, and you can use it to basically stun him for a very long amount of time. And then, because the monster has huge ears, as you can see, those that you see on his head are huge as ears, and he will get stunned, and afterward he will get angry as hell. And we all know Yankuku, when he's angry, he's really fast. He goes crazy, right? So it teaches you also about rage mode and how important that is. But also it teaches you, since Monster Hunter doesn't have HP bars for monsters, it teaches you that when Jan Kutku has the ears down, just like in this image, it's not only when it's calm, but it's also when he's weak, when he needs to rest, and he will probably try to escape, try to run away very soon. Sorry, Spurs. Ah, the damn cat. So, uh, I think it's an amazing monster, truly, and I hope it's huntable because that will make me very happy. And my theory on why Rage Gaming Theory might not be correct, it's a 50-50 obviously, but my theory is this. If you take a look at the website in which we're gonna take a deeper look later, and you go on the monsters section, you can see, okay, obviously they added the White Wraith, the Arkveld, and they added all the new additions to the trailer, Ufduna and Chemetris, I believe it's here, yeah. So if you take a look at this and you think a little bit, what are the monsters that aren't present here but we saw? And if you go on YouTube and search for Monster Hunter Wilds teaser, official reveal teaser, whatever, and you go to the ending part, we can see a monster that is always present in Monster Hunter in case you're new. There you go. We see Rathalos. Rathalos is technically revealed, so despite not being present in any trailer so far, like actually present there, uh, they could have easily like put the Rathalos in the website. So we know that there's Rathalos, but he isn't. in the website. And that might be the reason why Yian Kut Ku is not in the website. And I truly hope this is the reason. Obviously, it could also be that Rathalos is not there because he hasn't been in an original trailer instead of just a teaser, a real trailer. So obviously, it could be that one, the reason. But I hope it isn't like this. I really want Yian Kut Ku in the main roster, and I would be truly sad if they really went like out of their way to recreate a such an old monster. They recreated it in the current gen, which is outstanding. The way they did it, it's amazing. And they also showed us that there are a lot of them, like one, two, three, four, five so far. I'm seeing, and one here. Yeah, there's one here. Is that one another one? Wait. Oh, whoa. Yes, those are kutkus as well. Those are other young kutkus. So imagine the young kutkus in this region, because they're kind of not super strong nature. They basically hunt in packs. They don't have a leader, but they hunt in packs. Imagine it is like that. Like it gives a lot of speculation potential seeing this young kutku, and also they saved it as the at the end of the trailer, and they said Yian Kut Ku's back for vengeance. Why would you say back for vengeance if you cannot hunt the monster, right? So I really hope, again, I really hope it isn't the case. But uh, let's take a look at the beginner's guide for Monster Hunter Wilds, which I thought it was really cool. I'm gonna speed it
Welcome
up.
to the world of Monster Hunter Wilds.
I'm gonna speed it up because
Together, we
obviously,
will journey to the
other-
Forbidden Lands,
otherwise the
the
video
uncharted
would be too
territory that the
long.
Guild has begun investigating.
Apparently, I can't.
The Forbidden Lands were believed to be uninhabited until just a few years ago, when a boy named Nata was found there and taken into Guild protection. Nata was all alone after escaping an attack on his village by a
So this
mysterious
is what
monster, and the
what I
Guild
was saying
set up an
before.
expedition to investigate.
It seems we must do a more thorough investigation.
Our objectives will be to investigate the monster, known as the White Wraith,
So we
and
have to
arrest officers,
investigate,
known
but
as
it
the
doesn't
Thieves.
necessarily mean that we can hunt it.
Oh, who am I, you ask?
And
None of
obviously,
us
this
are.
is
We don't
Alma.
have any.
It's your handler.
Are you ready to step into a world of adventure? Let's go.
So honestly, let's be honest. I'm not gonna watch the entirety of the thing. You probably already did. If you didn't, I really suggest you do. But basically, what it's saying here is we have an expedition team. It's our. um let's see if I can find the name. Essential bear the weapons and hunt monsters. As this is the handler. You're the hunter. Then you have a palico and you have a smithy. This is the smithy. She will make equipment when you bring her the monster materials. This has always been Monster Hunter stuff. And your Palico and mention Avis unit. This is how it's called our team. Avis unit. And then we also have the possibility to join other units such as the Ostrom units. I got this one right, at least. But they're basically the same thing. You see, there's the hunter, the palico, the researcher, kind of handler, and this is the smithy. So this is the Windward Plains. We see cool shots. This is the plenty. This is the fallow. Another plenty shot, fallow shot, and this is the inclemency shot where the storm appears, which is also called as Sentide. This is how it's called. There we go. Obviously, here it basically teaches you that everything changes when the weather changes. So monster behaviors, and as well like endemic life. For example, it's gonna show it very soon. Monster ecology. The small monsters are gonna be very hungry when there's a fallow. And okay, now it's showing you the big monsters first. The Shaguma, the handsome packs, Balahar as well. Then it shows you the Chatacabra, which is the only one that doesn't hunt in packs. of these three monsters. And but you all know about this. We all watched the trailers, right? So this is basically just a one big resume, and then and then it says, as I expected, obviously, as I already predicted, the Apex, the new Apex, I'm gonna say, it's gonna be one for each map. Raidao is the new monster that it is a Apex for the um, I always forget the name. Windward Plains appears mainly during the lightning storm of the Centoid, uses it to as an advantage over the hunter and the on the other monsters. Endemic life are basically these small monsters that you cannot exactly kill and carve and whatever. You can just observe them. I assume you can also collect them just like you could in Monster Hunter World. And here they show that this time they're more alive than ever. You can also, if you observe, you can also see uh, the the grown-ups to feed the little ones. It's very cool. You see like the plants and whatnot. Then it teaches you that you can do anything you need in the village, in the main camp. This is the main base camp. But as we saw before, you have different villages for each locale. Basically, you have one big village, and then you can make the pop-up camps, which is these ones I'm gonna show.
One tool that's sure to come in
You
handy
see,
out in the vast expanse.
they make it on the fly, and inside of
These
it,
provide.
you
While out in the field.
you act as this was the base camp, basically. The only things you can do is like smithy stuff and all that sorts of stuff. But here you can change your equipment, you can refill your items from the main box, you can heal, you can do whatever you can do in a camp, essentially. Then it
Pop-up
teaches you
camps
that,
serve as fast travel
yeah, it
waypoints.
also serves as fast travel as well. You can
A
see,
place to change your equipment.
it
Over
tells
there.
you this. Restocking your
Of
items,
course, if a monster
but it
finds
teaches
one,
you that the monsters can actually
bound to
destroy it,
carefully
so
guard
you have to be really
the
careful where you place it.
would new
You can make food on the fly. I think it tells you this.
friend.
Hunting
As
basics.
they're getting close.
Obviously, if you're a new player, you have to choose your weapon. She's gonna help you with descriptions and recommendations for you. This time around, you have a little bit of a help when it comes to this. You can also
That's
cook
for
on the
sure.
fly.
Hunting is hungry work.
Before you could only cook meat on the fly, and you had to go to the camp to actually eat a proper full meal. Now you can make it with ingredients that you find, I believe, around the villages, but probably even around the locales, and like literally in the map. And that
This portable
is
barbecue grill and use
that
fire to cook food on the go.
is represented in the food of the cutscene. Like if you choose the fish, it's gonna show you the fish. It's not like in the old Monster Hunters. That's very cool. And there's also regular meat cooking, which essentially is a way to create items that like eating straight up meat in Monster Hunter usually increases your stamina, for example. So this is still present. So we have both things. We have the straight up meat and then full meals. Okay, and then it shows you what the palico does.
Need a hat to keep an eye on your start shaking.
Teaches you that when
Protection
you're
against
low on
deadly
HP,
attacks first.
your HP bar will, you see, will shake like that.
Sacred. Sacred only
Sacred can
uses
do a
it
lot of
after
stuff.
pouring.
And then it teaches you
Multiple
about
weapons.
multiplayer, but we
Multiple
don't need to watch that. Essentially, multiplayer, yes, you can play with a lot of people. Like max is going to be four in the same hunt, and you can also play offline and call NPC hunters to have kind of the multiplayer experience without actually being online. That's exactly what she's about to say here. And then I just want to take a small look at how the website changed. Now we have ArcBuild. is a monster known among the Commission as the White Brave, described as having unique chain-like appendages extending from its wings, a species long thought to have been extinct. You see, its ecology remains shrouded in mystery. So now we can kind of assume that you cannot exactly kill this monster because the guild doesn't want you to. It's almost extinct. So maybe you have to find a real reason to do so. And Nata is probably mad about it. Then we have Ufduna. This is just what they said in the trailer. So this guy is a Leviathan. I thought it was a amphibian, but it's a Leviathan that rules the Scarlet Forest. It's a predator. Basically, it's the Raydal of the Scarlet Forest. It's adapted to water-rich environment and it's sighted most often during the downpour. As just as I said before, it makes use of the moisture and its own bodily fluids to create a protective veil around itself. So I believe it's either you cannot damage it a lot physically, unless you hit certain parts maybe, or it's the opposite. The veil protects it from elemental damage. Maybe. We don't know. We have to wait for that. Then we have Raydal. We already knew about this monster. It's the apex of the Windward Plains. Everyone knows about this. So I don't need to touch Balahara and Raydal and Dushaguma and Chatakabra. We actually have to see Camatris, the blue wyvern with the disproportionately long tails. They spread a flammable substance then ignite it with dragging their tails along the ground. Just as I said before, they can often be seen fighting with other smaller carnivores over carrion. So I don't know exactly how difficult this monster is going to be because he fights other smaller monsters. So maybe it's not a threat for other big monsters. I don't know exactly. Maybe he just fights other smaller monsters because he just wants to feed and wants the food for all for himself. I don't know. Because it's a brute wyvern, and usually brute wyverns are not exactly the easiest thing to fight. But maybe they created one brute wyvern that introduces you to the species of brute wyverns without actually being too difficult. I would assume it's this. And yes, obviously you can pre-order. So yes, this is what I wanted to talk about for the Yian Kut Ku stuff. And uh, again, guys, wanted to end it with I really hope it's hunt like you can hunt him. I really hope so. I want to see all his gear in new glorious current generation, but it is what it is. We just have to wait. And tomorrow we're absolutely gonna be covering the live Scarlet Force gameplay. So if you're interested, uh, if you're interested, I forgot what what I needed to fucking say. Look up for that, yeah. And see you next time, guys. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it.